What if burnout wasn't a problem to fix, but a signal guiding you toward deeper alignment with life? The Practice Podcast invites you to explore how aligning with your energy can transform your connection to yourself, your relationships, and your work. Through real stories, data-driven insights, and life-centered tools, each episode helps you tune into your body's signals and create life-affirming change from the inside out. Welcome to the Practice Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Practice Podcast. We have some new, I would say, updates, formats that I just want to brief everybody on if you've been following along. The Practice Podcast initially started, Kristi and myself, where we would walk you through our data, talk about our trends, what's emerging, the edginess. We're still going to do that, but we're going to be calling these segments now Founder to Founder is what it is. And then we have a series of other, I would say, shows within a show coming at you under the Practice Podcast umbrella. So we will be doing member spotlights so that you can hear from the people that are actually growing their energetic literacy in the ways in which Source has created. We will be doing practice with sessions, which is when we bring on other experts in the fields of somatic intelligence, spiritual psychology, people that are really involved in evolving consciousness. We're going to have them on and we're going to talk about how they are practicing. And then we're also going to take you guys into these deeper case studies where we're going to show you what's emerging in the realm of enterprise and corporations and when teams work with this. So just wanted to give you all a little brief explanation as what you are going to see coming from the Practice Podcast. Good news is we're growing. I wouldn't say the bad news is it's hard. But let me tell you, we are growing and it has been
gooey is all I can say.
It has been, I'd say it has required a lot of breath. And today, I think we're gonna talk about it. Did I miss anything in terms of our pivoting around the Practice Podcast?
No,
yeah,
I don't think. I think that one thing to mention, if you're curious and you listen to us or you see our posts on Instagram or LinkedIn, and we are becoming more visible, it's been a difficult, I guess, thing for us as a company to conceive of this marketing piece just in general. And as we do become more visible, we are going to go into the case studies and how we work, because a lot of times when you're hearing us here, you'll see a lot of and hear a lot of conceptual things. And so I think it's really important also for you guys to see and kind of discover how we work with organizations, how we work with leaders. What does this look like in practice? It sounds great in two chairs, but how does that work with a team of 100 people, 1,000 people under a roof of an org? So stay tuned if you're interested on that front as well.
Well said.
Yeah.
So as I said, we haven't actually done a pod together in probably 2 months.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, I would say the time away in one sense felt kind of good because frankly, production, it puts you on a certain clip and we had to roll out a series of other things. So in one sense, I felt like having the space was necessary. And I also think it got us a little, that feeling of being a little further
far
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even from each other because our plates have been so full. So who wants to go first?
I have no idea. Should I go first?
I think I would like that.
Do you want me to go first?
I would like that. Because
Okay.
I want to see how it is integrating. It feels like the word is how everything is integrating for you in light of the intensity.
Yeah, I think that for me, we all know now that I'm moving.
Yes.
I'm moving in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And Jess is going on a very big trip at the same time. And the last couple of months since we've sat in these chairs, I would describe the integration period. And also, I've been working with a coach. I've been doing a lot of personal growth on that
Laurel
front.
Lewis, if anybody needs a coach, Laurel Lewis. Mountain Laura Lee on Instagram.
I cannot plug her enough, honestly. And we had our closing session in the last week, and I've been feeling this really expansive growth within my body, within my family, within even us moving, this almost kind of intuitive call that I'm on the edge of something and I need to walk rather than slow down. It feels like I need to walk and not slow down at this time, which is really odd for me. Usually I'm very into the slowdown and very into the cocooning and very into my bat cave. But right now it just feels like the cloak needs to kind of come off. And it's required a lot of uncomfortable moments lately of me being truthful in my life in a way that I haven't really experienced before. And what I mean by that is I'm having to dialogue with friends, with people, with family members, with you in a way that isn't common for me. Usually I'm the deliverer of good news. Usually I like to have everything spun as an opportunity. And quite frankly, a lot of items or news, they don't affect me personally quite as much as now I know how my news actions are affecting others. And so I am plugging our energetic literacy assessments at this moment, but we go through a couple of different dimensions: connection to me, connection to you, and connection to work. And this connection to you piece, connection to others, for me, has been like fluffed up in a very big way. Like my way of communicating has ripple effects, and I haven't really thought about that in the past. I will move on with my day, leave a lot in my wake. They know me. Hopefully they catch up. That's it. And I've noticed that behavior, when I'm not checking back in or going back to a conversation and perception checking, I'm running on a narrative that others might not be running on. And it serves me really well because I'm just running on my narrative. Do. I'm moving. I'm doing my work. I've got my to-do list. But then there's really key members of my life that kind of get left in this dust of, I wonder what's really happening. You know, where is she going? When is she going? How is this working? And so that's been a big layer of me opening up my throat even more and allowing people to be disappointed. And I've said this before on the podcast, but now it's at a deeper cut. Disappointing people with news, saying a truthful sentence and allowing it to land, and then allowing other people to have their experience of my news. And being with people and their experiences is very uncomfortable for me. Very. I don't like it. It makes me feel like now I have a deeper connection with someone that I don't want. And that is scary. So for me, connecting with another person the past couple of months, what I've been working with is how can I connect with someone without feeling a large commitment or an attachment or a perceived enmeshment going on. And that has just been so awkward. It's so awkward to go about my day and allow my actions and my words to land and me not need to over-explain or feel misunderstood or go, you know what, I meant it like this, and this is what I meant, and I actually said it like, all of that took so much energy. And so now I've really been working on how can I deliver information? How can I achieve our business goals? Sit in meetings, and work with this new up level of our company and have an inner posture that doesn't need to reach and start to fix everything and just stay in my location while staying connected to another. And that has been one of the deepest explorations of my current life. So that's been the last kind of couple months, I guess, on the inward journey. And then just as Source, we're blowing up. And it's weird. I think I have such comfort in working with me and you and it being me and you all the time. And I mean, we have an extended team. We have, our data science team, our CTO, all of the stuff is there, but there is a uniqueness that I feel so safe when things are me and you. And as I'm seeing new faces flying through the door, from global leaders from all over now attracting into this body of work that we birthed, that is ours, that we're birthed, that now we're sharing with the world, it feels like, no, that's no need. We'll just keep it boutiqued in me and you because that feels safe. And to make that connection piece, me doing a lot of inner work around telling the truth and being okay with how it lands has bridged into this business piece of me being able to sit on a high-level operations call and not need to make it anything and just allow it to be there. And thus I'm seeing growth. And so there's this circle of we're growing as a company. I'm growing as a mom. I'm growing in my voice. I'm growing in my capacity to be able to be more truthful in a dimension that I'm not necessarily super familiar with. Because anyone who knows me is probably hearing this going, I call you and you're like, I'm busy, bye. Like you are honest. But there's this one little cut. That is true. And I have strong boundaries and people know that. But there's one level that I'm working with now. And it's when I come into a little bit more of a depth of connection, how can I keep it there? And that's why I've been kind of so afraid to allow people into my sphere because it's uncomfortable for me to stay truthful to who I am. And the more that I do that, the more I notice our business growing. And then it's just this circular thing of the power of the inner work, the power of connecting with the truth of our body. And in my specific journey now at a little bit deeper cut than what I had been working on maybe the past 3 years. And then, with you and I don't know. I don't even know how to put this. I am so in awe. I'm really just in awe of how we are able. A lot of people ask me all the time, like, gosh, you and your co-founder have been together for a long time. Like, do you fight? Do you argue? And my answer is not really. And it's still the same answer. It's like, not really. We have a very respectful relationship with a ton of trust and mutual respect. But I can, this last month, I can tell how I've had to call myself forward more in a deeper cut of truth as we're growing. And both of us sometimes are up against the wall and up against the ropes. And we had a big kind of with each other over Zoom, which happens very rarely. And it's welcomed if it happens. It's not like we're afraid of it. It just doesn't naturally happen because usually we're so clean. But I'm in awe of the fact of how we were able to navigate that as co-founders and as people that have a deep respect for one another, that it felt really healing for me. And it increased my trust in what we're doing and increased my trust in how I'm working with my voice. And it reminds me of, wow, this is exactly the kind of startup business leader, businesswoman that I hoped would be here. And I wouldn't turn into this like thing that I know I could like claw myself up 30 under 30, 40 under for, all of the things. It feels so just deeply appreciated and grateful and inspired, re-inspired. Like that moment re-inspired everything that to me that we're doing at Source.
It's so wild to hear that. It's so wild to hear that. I mean, I love hearing it.
You probably have a different experience.
I had such a different experience of it.
I know.
So it's like, I think sometimes we're trying to not expose too many people or things, but I'll just give a little bit more detail so that it feels a little bit more grounded.
Yeah.
Is that we did have our probably annual, it's like an annual fight. An annual fight. We have like one a year. And I was at total capacity going into the day. And then Kristi had certain, I think, things to share that I didn't have room for in the moment. But she didn't know that because we didn't have time to level set. We kind of just went from one big thing to the other big thing because that's what it's been the last couple months. It's like one big thing to the other big thing. And when you're in a growth phase and you're wearing, again, multiple hats, we usually do a really good job of keeping each other up to speed of where we're at. But just because of all the influx, we didn't have that time. I'm so present to like how important that time is for us to maintain that feeling of like sync and rhythm. Absolutely. And we just didn't have it.
And a quick tangent on that, our company, the way that we work and the products and services that we sell encourage energetic, literate conversations all the time.
Yeah.
We didn't do it once.
It was like 1 week.
1 week. Imagine people and companies and things who never do it.
This is exactly what I was thinking.
It's unbelievable to me. It threw us so off that we didn't have a conversation around energy and capacity.
I think we occupy a level of trust with each other that is extremely rare.
True.
I don't think it exists in 99.9% of companies. Like the level of, it feels familial trust. Like it's so deep. And one sync when everything was growing. Anyway, so I was at capacity. Kristi had something to share and I didn't have room for it. And it just went whap and it just burst. Now, when that happens, when I don't have space and I yell, because I yelled. Did it feel like a yell? Or did it feel like I raised my voice? What did it feel like?
It felt like a slight yell, but that's where my experience was, I'm so happy about this.
So this is what is wild. So like when I get to that point where I have to raise my voice, it is a jarring for me.
Yeah.
And I was like shaking because I was at capacity and I hadn't communicated that. And then I was just like, fuck. For her, it felt like I kept apologizing after that. Like, I'm sorry I raised my voice. I'm sorry I took that tone. And then Kristi was like, something to the effect of, I feel safer that you did.
Yeah.
Now that is fucking wild.
Yeah. That's wild. I truly did.
I know. And I was like, how is that actually true? And in retrospect, was there
oh my gosh, something is coming to me right now.
Yeah.
I feel very safe in my family, my family unit, my brothers, my parents, when we have a lot lot of confrontation because that feels real to me. I feel very unsafe when things are like, we're fine.
Right.
Or anything feels like, we're fine.
Right.
Or I sit in a dinner table sometimes with other families and I'm going, this shit is fucked up. They are like ready to burst.
Right.
So for me, it just felt like
real.
This is so real. And this creates a tremendous amount of safety
Which is such a wild thing because to me, if somebody raises their voice at me, that might make me not feel safe.
Right.
Like in theory.
Yeah.
But how it was sitting with you was wild. And then I've had a much longer road to integrate that whole thing where, you're just like done. It's just like done for you. It feels complete where I've just been processing it for the last week because I want to understand why.
Yeah.
Why did I get to that point? and what could have been done. And I have enough information now, but it's still, I guess it also can mark my growth too, that like, there have been environments where I haven't felt safe enough to maybe even raise my voice or yell. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I just always think that if we could have been, we could have gotten, I want to get upstream on everything. And that's why it got so triggering, because in our conversation, I was trying to actively get upstream on why we were feeling the way we did. And I said something that felt triggering, and then that triggered me. And then we were just in this, and here's what we did. We just stayed on the call.
We, in a lot of silence too.
We stayed on the call in silence and we breathed.
Yeah, truly.
Together. And that, I think.
Yeah. I wish it was recorded, because it was just a lot of breathing and me crying. I cried a lot too. I think it's because I process really quickly too, because I process in the moment.
Yeah.
Sorry for lots of people that are around me for that, but I metabolize and process quickly. So that's probably what you're feeling too.
And I think we do need to talk about the fact that we were both going to get our periods.
Yeah, for
now.
Sure. Yes.
Female-founded company that where you're cycling together. That's an intense experience.
It is. Yeah.
That takes even, I think we just need to acknowledge it.
I do too.
Because I would have had more space. I don't think that
didn't help.
That blow up happens if also I wasn't feeling like I'm 2 days out.
Same.
And so there was just multiple things that we can acknowledge about perhaps why it happened. And then I think what I delight in the most is that it felt healing for you.
And healthy.
It definitely is healthy. Thank you for saying that.
It's healthy. I think the most unhealthy environments I have been in my life ever are the ones that aren't fully expressed.
Yeah.
And it is frightening to me to be in relationships, companies, dynamics, that I even feel a little bit of like, okay, or overanalyze how we could have prevented something so healthy. I get this with my husband a lot.
Right.
Shout out, Jack. Of this thing of how healthy it is to, even if who's wrong or right or this kind of outward sometimes just is what's needed.
You're right.
And it's really healthy. And why it can be healthy is because you and I know each other's heart.
Right.
If someone was yelling at me that I didn't know or trust, I'm a human. I would have had a different experience. And I would have had a longer time to integrate that. And I wouldn't have maybe understood that to be as healthy. But because of, even in my family, us all kind of just going at it, it creates this, we trust each other enough to do that.
Right.
We love each other enough to know that we'll get past it.
Yeah.
And it's a healthy physical release.
My family didn't do this. So this is also probably why, like, I did not come from a family that
just fights on
openly fights.
I know you should have seen Raph.
No, my family is so diplomatic.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, right?
Yeah,
so diplomatic and very thoughtful. There's rare
confrontation,
outbursts. and I also have taken, I think, like, I know you, and I know how sensitive certain parts are. Not all your parts. Some of your parts are not sensitive at all. But there are tender parts in there that it's such a like a fragmenting experience when it's like in my head, it's like my job is to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And then to feel like I'm not keeping you safe but I have to advocate for my part.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know which part is going to win. The part of me that wants to keep you safe or the part that has to advocate for myself. This is extremely difficult for me because you're in certain instances, it feels like in the source way, like you're an extension. So it's so
that
difficult to reconcile for me. But I think what is helpful is that feeling your strength, feeling your commitment to self, I don't feel like I have to protect you as much.
Correct.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Because then I can occupy and advocate for whatever's happening over here without it getting confused about the protection piece.
Totally. And I think this is such an important piece too, because I've found other people in my life, just people that enter my life, don't want to, hurt my feelings because I know that my feelings can get hurt or say something or maybe protect me. But the best way to keep me safe is to be real and you. That is the best way. So for us, and also it's healthy for me to be upset, and I process in the moment. So for other people, it's quite sometimes, oh no, gosh, what happened?
I can be such a delayed processor too, because I've taken up this position of like the elephant.
Yeah.
Sorry, the elephant. We did this thing with Amanda Gerber, Cross Gerber, by the way. Go check out her website, wildorder.com, where there's all these archetyping. And my archetype is the elephant, which is like this matriarchal
kind of a
constant.
Steward.
Yeah, it's like a matriarchal constant.
Very loyal and a big presence, though. A big presence, but in your location, sort of how you move within source as our visionary, as stewarding this body of work, deep integrity, deep loyalty. And then I get the wild horse. I'm like,
right. Like the unbridled horse, which is a perfect combination. But again, sometimes I just have, I have a hard time relinquishing, it feels like, the space holding for self-advocacy.
And I love when you do that. And mark this time.
Yeah, it's
from
good.
Here
it's
on
really
out,
good for me to hear.
You can do this all the time.
Yeah.
The space that you hold doesn't really have much to do with what you're saying, if you're yelling, if you're not. It's just your presence. It has nothing to do with really how you're talking to me.
Okay.
At all.
I don't even know if I fully understand what you're saying, but I'll listen to it again.
Yeah. So.
And it isn't that you're not saying it right. No. There's something that is confused inside of me that doesn't know how to express, both hold space and express anger. Like, I don't totally know how to do that.
Fun. I'm going to say it one more time.
Okay.
You don't even actually have to actively hold space for me. You already are. Okay. So expressing anger is also holding space in my mind and in my body.
Okay.
Expressing anger, expressing yourself, that's still holding space, because in my mind, that is the safest container that I can be in is one that feels safe at the root. I don't need an extra space hold. I can also be upset. You can yell at me and scream at me all you want. It won't matter much. Like, it won't matter much on the deepest level.
Yeah.
Sure, my branches are going to kind of go, whoa, and oh my God, and that's because of this, and I'll work through all that. But that's just the leaves. And the space holding isn't happening there. It's not even happening with your words. It's simply the way underneath that, the presence that we hold with each other. I'm honored you get to yell at me. That is what's...
it's you.
I
you
love
once
that.
a year, and my husband maybe once a month.
And it's great. I'm also a yeller, so watching this is like,
it's a radical.
You yell at me a lot.
It's a radical thing, because I know I have anger, but I think
it's awesome. I loved it. I was like, yes, I was so lucky to hear that. I swear to God, that was my experience.
I know, because you said it. You're like, no, this makes me feel safe.
And I still feel that now.
I know. I believe you.
And I feel closer to you.
I believe you. But it's like, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not familiar.
It's not familiar.
To me.
Yeah.
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 But what's happening right now is I feel relief. Because all I want to do is feel close to you.
Yeah.
And in those moments, the anger, it it feels like it's separating.
Yeah, it's not.
And I don't like that. I just never will like that feeling.
Yeah. Also, that was very baby anger.
I know! She's like, if you want to see big anger, come over.
I will come for you. I will it's like very scary anger that can come from here. So it's very baby anger. And yeah, I think for me, I mean, I remember even going to bed that night just thinking, like smiling, going, we are such in a great position together. That's how I felt. Like, wow, that we can make it through anything.
Wow.
Too. It's like we can do it, because there's no emotion that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of non-emotion. That is what I'm deeply afraid of.
Because that's disconnection.
It is. It means and that will start to bring me far away, because then I'm confused on where we stand, and then I get confused with my words. So for me, I went to bed smirking that night, going, I just love her. I swear.
I mean, this is blowing my fucking mind.
This is why communication, you guys, is so important, because her perception, how we don't have this open line, though.
Yeah.
Imagine 2 co-founders have no line of communication like this.
I know.
One goes to bed, you thinking you completely went off the handle, didn't handle it right, didn't hold pristine space. Oh, no. And I overstepped, I overtalked, stewing in that, never telling me that. And then me going to bed going, hell yeah. And we don't communicate that. Those are 2 very different narratives.
Yeah.
But now that we communicated that, guess what? Our work can get done with this week with a lot more ease. Both of us.
It will. Now it will.
Now it will.
In this moment now. Because I hadn't gone
fully through that.
Yeah, full loop.
Yeah.
Into understanding.
Yeah.
I've just been so curious as to why I'm not feeling resolved. And I think it's this piece of just, I have confusion sometimes around anger. I mean, sometimes you can see when I'm like play anger.
Totally.
And you know that I can get very strong.
Yes, you can.
But when it comes to you and somebody that I'm trying to protect, I don't know how to be.
Because you love me.
I love you very much.
Because you love me.
I love you very much.
But that showed me how much you love me.
Wow.
And that makes me so happy.
Wow. All right. Well, we are almost up out of time. Why don't you go ahead and give your energy status, your trend,
I am,
and your commitment.
Here.
I'll do the same, and then we're out in the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. I have a maintain day. I'm on a little bit of a droopy trend here.
Droop.
It's kind of bomb. I did go out last night. And being more visible, by the way, I'm seeing myself going out more. I'm planning on going to Laguna Beach to meet with a client this week because, Lisa and I are discovering our flow with business. And so me being out, though, I have to realize the recalibration that I need to come back in. So I've been a little bit more social.
Yeah.
And I on my cycle. And the past month, though, I've been kind of steady. It's been interesting. Usually these months of hard kind of things would hit my baseline. And there's your proof of how I didn't, I didn't feel really discouraged and down with that. I felt fortified and closer with this and our mission, because our mission is truth. That's it. That's it. So for me, maintain. It's kind of been steady. I've had a few peaks. Memorial Day, I went out to Ojai for a couple days. I saw a dramatic rise. Yeah, that was fun. I always love that. Show you guys proof. It's like, there, recovery, up. And mind you, I still had fun, had some cocktails. So it wasn't like I totally was pristine with my lifestyle habits during that time.
Yeah.
And I ate a gummy.
Yeah.
So. A gummy bear. And then it'll be interesting to see the next couple of weeks as we are kind of going through another chrysalis of things and products and services and releases and launches and marketing. But yeah, I've kind of been more steady around everything, which I'm grateful for.
Any commitment that you are wanting to claim?
It's the one I'm working with now, and it's just I need a lot. I'm welcoming in a lot of practice around delivering information in a neutral manner.
Beautiful.
without needing to control the
Honest,
outcome.
neutral manner.
Honest, neutral. And usually when I do that, I can do that, but then I go clean it up.
Right.
Because I don't love how it landed, or I shouldn't have said it like that.
The likability wins.
The likability wins every time, even if I've taken the right action or the embodied action, and I'm so proud. And then I'm like, let me go. I promise I didn't mean it like that. I did mean it like this. And politically, we're fine. And so now I'm just going to let it lie and know that they know my heart, and that's enough.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I have a recover day, and
yes, you do.
I have been on a uptrend, a big one.
So see?
Surprisingly.
No.
Yeah.
That's great.
Just a lot of capacity building, and I have a strong hunch that this next week is going to be the ebb to the flow.
To the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good. This next month is a lot of public speaking for me, which can feel draining. So my commitment to it's invigorating, and then it's also draining. And the reason why it's draining is because I want it to be perfect. So my commitment is that in these engagements that I'm just honest.
Hell yeah.
That's it. Going to show up and be as honest and revealed as I can be. And that will be enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Your presence alone, just you, nothing that you're saying. Nope. That doesn't matter near as much. I mean, Melissa was just on the podcast. She's like, I don't even know what happened in the flow class. Didn't get much from there. But what I did get was just the sheer wise human that I'm standing beside. That was it.
That sometimes loses her shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, everyone, for joining us on this edition of the Practice Podcast, Founder to Founder. I love you. Thank you.
I love you.
That felt important.
Yeah, it did.
Bye, guys.
Bye.